Hey everybody, thanks for watching. We're checking out some brand new footage of Grid 2 and I'm joined by Seb, who has just come back from Codemasters and actually got to check out this game in person. So Seb, tell me about what we're watching.
Alright Cam, this is Grid 2 multiplayer footage we're looking at right here. This is this is just the race mode. This is like the core of the multiplayer modes, which I guess is the case in all racing games. So this is race mode, and we are currently on the Algarve Sports Circuit, which is in Portugal.
Okay.
This is one of their licensed circuits, so this is one of the ones where they kind of like, they head over to Portugal, blast around the track, like take measurements of every single corner and every bit of the track that they possibly can. The idea being that they kind of want to recreate it is like as lifelike as possible. Like apparently even down to like the shading and the styling of like, you know, the corners, all of that red and white stuff you can see going on in the corners there. They want to make it all look really cool.
Okay, cool. So we're playing, or we're watching gameplay of a multiplayer game here. So this was done in the Cody's office, right?
This was done live right in front of me.
Okay,
actually,
cool.
Yeah. And I was having a nice chat during this recording with the senior game designer Ross Gowing. He gave me a bit more of an idea of kind of what they're going for in this multiplayer. Also, if you're interested, we're currently driving this. Well, this car is a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3.
Wow.
How about that?
Catchy. Very catchy name.
Yeah. Which is basically an absolutely sick car.
Yeah. Now, it's been a while since we've seen a Grid game. In fact, I'm not exactly sure how many years, but
I can tell you.
How many years?
2008.
2008.
2008.
That many years.
Grid came out, yeah.
Okay.
In the UK, I think we called it Race Driver Grid, not just Grid.
Yeah.
I think in the US it was just Grid.
Okay.
But yeah, 2008 since it last came out. But don't forget that this game is from Codemasters, who have like a ridiculous racing pedigree.
Absolutely.
In games. They are the guys who did Dirt. They
Formula
obviously
1.
did Formula 1 like most recently.
Yeah.
And as I understand, Grid sort of comes off the pedigree of the Toka touring car series.
Yes.
Which obviously, I mean,
Old school.
that's
series.
old school and has like, I think around 8 games to its name. So, yeah, the guys they had playing this live were really pretty good.
Now, the keen-eyed among you might have noticed we've seen a good few view modes here. We've seen on the bonnet, we've seen the full car, and now we've got kind of the on-the-bumper camera.
Yeah.
I've not seen a cockpit view, though, Seb. What's the deal with
No,
that?
cockpit view, yeah, everyone's... a lot of people are actually really annoyed by that, which technically doesn't make any sense, because I asked Codemasters about it, like, live, and I was like, what's the deal? What's the deal behind the cockpit thing? And they were like, well, we don't want to put the cockpit in. If we were going to cut anything, it would be cockpit mode, because only 5% of the gamers use that as their as their game mode of choice.
Yeah.
As their like view mode of choice. Apparently, a lot of people like nip into it and go like, "Oh, look, this is me inside the car," but then they're like,
But
I
no
wanna
one,
race
no
the
one
bonnet.
races there. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more difficult, basically, to race in the cockpit.
So-
I mean, it does add that immersion, but if only 5% use it regularly, that's...
And I mean, you might think, well, seeing as you are effectively just working off an engine that already exists and a load of like framework from other games, would it be that hard to keep? And apparently they were like, well, we wanted to up the graphical fidelity of the game. I mean, you're still running... The footage we're looking at right here, by the way, is on 360.
Okay.
And so obviously you're still limited hardware-wise on how far you can push it.
Yeah.
They were like, well, we need to claw something back in order to make those kind of improvements. And they were like, something's got to give. They called it on the cockpit view.
Fair enough.
That's the reason I was told of why we're not going to see it.
So we've seen if we pause it here, we can see there's quite a lot of damage going on in these cars. He's lost a door and the back of his bumper. Did they tell you much about the damage physics?
Yeah, they did. So that car we're looking at there, that's an Audi R8, and if you pause it here, Cam, you can see, like, now that the rear bumpers come off, we can see right inside the car.
Yeah, the engine.
And I'm not sure if we'll see a side view, but you can actually see right through the car as well. It's like all of the bits and pieces are inside that car. It looks,
Should
it
we
looks
spin
sick.
on and see if we get a side view?
In terms of what the damage actually does, basically, if you're in an online playlist, all of the damage is just going to be visual.
Whoa!
Yeah, you're rewinding.
What did he do there?
I slammed into a wall is what it looks like.
I was like, he's going to turn, right? He's going to turn, isn't he?
Not paying attention.
Boosh!
Done. So basically, yeah, if you're in an online playlist, all of this damage is still going to be visually represented, but it's going to be visual only. And if you're in a custom session with all your friends, you can set that damage to be fully affecting and damaging to your gameplay.
Oh wow!
So
okay. So you can kind of choose.
You
to
get
what
full damage.
degree
Yeah,
you can get full damage.
You can get like wheel distortions. Like obviously the paintwork's going to get all wrecked up. Pieces of your car are going to fly off. Tire bursts.
Yeah.
And it's going to affect the way your car handles and all sorts.
Cool. And here we see the ending screen. Not particularly exciting, but
Yeah.
just session.
Not a bad time.
Yeah,
and
progress.
second place. We'll take
All right.
that.
Shall we skip to the next clip?
Next clip.
All right. So this is tell me about this one. This is obviously a different circuit completely. We're in a city. Is this Monaco?
No, this is Dubai.
Oh, Dubai.
Yeah.
Ah.
So what we're looking at here is an endurance race. I didn't quite understand what that was, so I asked Ross, and he basically said, if you can see in the top right, that foot counter is going up and up and up.
Yeah.
We're currently at 900, 1,000.
Mhm.
It's simply a get as far as you possibly can in 5 minutes. So it's a 5-minute session.
All right.
And you want to just get as far as you can. You want to cover as much distance as possible. Of course, there's a lot of cars on the track here. We've only got 8 playing, but there'll be all of the multiplayer games are up to 12 players, apart from obviously like specific 2-player head-to-head style games. But these kind of races, they're up to 12 players. If your car takes too much damage in this, then you're not going to make it to the end.
So it's almost like they're reaching into some of the things they learned with Dirt Showdown.
Yeah.
But that was their most. I think that's their most recent game. Well, maybe F1 was. since
F1
then.
I think was just a little bit ahead
Okay.
of it, but Dirt 1 would certainly be the most like the kind of game that we're looking at
Dirt
here.
Showdown. Yeah.
Sorry, Dirt Showdown, of
Yeah.
course.
So they're taking elements up from that, and because this is this is the kind of almost destruction based kind of modes. So you can like ram people off the road in this one, yeah.
Again, I asked and I was like, is that the tactic? And apparently it's not. Apparently the
okay.
tactic is like as smooth as possible. Keep your car in good working order. You want to be able to go as fast and not like damage your handling so that you can negotiate the track without taking any more punishment. But
So it's
you
basically-
could just bully someone off the track. Here we go for a bit of a burnout here. Yeah.
Nice smoke effects. Okay.
So this is one of the live routes, which is a new feature in Grid 2, where while we're in the heart of Dubai, the track is actually, as in the route we're taking through Dubai, is changing dynamically as we're driving.
What? Oh, so you can't learn the course.
You can't learn it.
Oh, I'm getting the idea of the endurance run now.
Yeah.
Right. So
So
you can't just
You,
like.
you can't just go ahead, learn the course, take on your
Just
friends,
spin.
be like, I already know this. So effectively, what you're doing is you're driving it. The course is going, well, I'm going to throw you off here. I'm going to throw you off here.
Okay.
And what Cody's wanted to get was basically it's like the way you can adapt and respond to the changes in the course.
It's a good spin there.
And it's not even just like a left or right, that might change. It could be up to 6 directions at one junction. Could be an option of where you're going
wow.
to end up heading.
So you never know what's coming.
No.
That's cool. I like that. That's a good addition.
So not all of them, all of these point-to-point races, not all of them in the game modes are going to be live routes. In fact, of the ones I saw in multiplayer, this game type was the only one that took a live route.
Right.
But it looks pretty awesome.
It does. Shall we spin on towards the end and see what happens like at the end of the 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's just kind of spin on a bit. Zip, 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 zip.
Yeah, we're by the way, we're looking at a Ford Mustang Boss. I think it's called a Ford Mustang Boss 302, which is a really nice looking car.
I like the kind of camera angle they've gone for in the bonnet here, the field of view. I mean, it's maybe the same as they always have, but
I like
it seems quite wide.
Yeah, and
A
you
wide
get
lens.
nice bonnet reflections as well, which I think look pretty tight. Speaking of the actual like visually stuff, like all the visual stuff, the modifications you can do in multiplayer include, we can see we've got the all of like the sponsorship and stuff on the bonnet of this car.
Yeah.
So you can change like all the livery, all the sponsors. You can change the paintwork.
The kind of standard fare we've
yeah.
seen, and it's kind of a staple. But if you get really into these games and you invest a lot of time, that stuff matters.
Oh, big
So
time.
it's good that that's there.
Yeah, I think people just like designing those kind of custom cars. I always have. It's part of what I really enjoy from multiplayer. It's totally separate from the single player. Nothing carries over from your single player into the multiplayer. So it's not like doing really well in that's going to affect how well or stuff you can unlock in this.
Yeah.
What you'll be doing is you're unlocking you're using your XP to reach unlocks and then using in-game cash in multiplayer to choose which of those you want to buy. So you can buy new cars, buy new livery, buy new all of this new stuff, and then mechanically you can upgrade it. So you obviously like get the mechanical benefits of like greater speed, greater downforce, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. So we got
Pretty sick.
basically 10 seconds left in this endurance race.
I think we're probably going to win this one.
Yep.
I think, that's a pretty good drive. Pretty clean. A bit beaten up, but not too bad.
Dude, I was going to say, dude, he's missing his back bumper. All right.
Of
cool.
all of the
And it
things
just
you could be
ends.
missing, that I don't think that's so bad.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe right now we should skip to the car select, so just take a look at some of the cars that they've got on offer. So this, I think, is the car select screen. We'll nip through this slowly so we can kind of see it. This is the car select screen from the run we've just done. Actually, no, it's not. I can see that's a Ford Mustang Mach 1. So this is a different
car, yeah.
Yeah. But these are the kind of cars that we'll be looking at. All of them, I asked, like, can you basically put any car up against any car?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yes and no, in the sense that we've broken it up into 4 tiers. So we'll have like 4 tiers of different cars. I mean, you'll have like muscle cars versus like Japanese speedsters and stuff like that. And you can put them up head to head and they'll be competitive, but you can't then throw like, say, a whopping great, like super expensive touring car against like a Golf.
Yeah.
You know? So there will be tiers that you can put stuff up against each other.
Just to clarify, you can like mix and match within each tier.
Yes.
You can't pull ones in from different tiers. So you can do tier 1 v tier 4 or whatever. You have to within that tier. How many cars are we talking about? Did they give us a rough
I'm not sure
figure,
actually.
or?
I'm not sure about exactly how many cars we're going to see in the end. But all of the cars that are in here so far, they're all like the R models, and it's not just going to be like. It's not one of those ones where you have every single car that's ever been made as an
It's not
option.
like a Gran Turismo type effect where
No.
they'll put like a regular Golf or a Beetle and whatever.
No, we don't. And I got the impression that's not what they were ever really wanted to go for. They wanted something that's going to make you feel like a rock star, and you don't want to be driving like a Datsun or a Kia. Like
Maybe
slowly.
you do.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Maybe I do. No, I don't.
So, I mean, to give you an example here, we've got we've got a Ford Mustang versus I think it was, if we keep going further on, we've got the Golf right there.
Yeah.
Or like an Audi or Subaru. So it's like a mix of different types of cars,
Gotcha.
basically.
Great.
Anyway, let's go on to the last game mode that they showed me. This is a checkpoint system. It's, old as time itself, this game mode, but apparently it's one that is still mega popular. So they were like, we had to put this in.
Yeah.
And we just want it to feel like really, 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 powerful and exciting.
So it's interesting to see how much they've obviously, I mean, I guess it's kind of standard, but they paid attention a lot to the metrics from how their players have played their previous games.
Yeah.
Which is, why they got rid of the cockpit mode and also why they got checkpoints in here.
It's a lot of, I know a lot of game companies do that where they take the metrics directly from, you can pause
That was
that and take a
awesome.
rewind.
Let's rewind that, spin back a bit, because we can play that back at like half speed. We can see.
So this isn't a game feature. We're actually going through this recording.
Oh, yeah.
Good and slow. But though it must be said, Grid 1 was the game that introduced that sort of flashback feature. Here we go.
Whoosh! Wow,
What a hit.
That was quite a... How do you lose control? I don't know. He just
I think
was
he just
drifting.
took the corner too fast,
Yeah.
couldn't keep the grip, and slammed into the wall.
Bash.
And then it's
unfortunately, nice sparks as he went over the curb there.
It looks really good. It really looks really
Door
tidy.
comes off.
Bang.
Hello.
Quite a collision there.
Another door. Or that's like some mounting.
This is one of their effects that they like to put in. Is you see when we collide, you get the kind of like digital distortion.
Oh yeah.
There. At first I was like, what's going on there? I'm like, oh no, it's that's there.
It's like what happens if you're watching a race through a camera. That's like what happens if a camera gets hit.
Boom.
It's that kind of effect, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a cool effect. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
So that was a good hit. But I know a lot of companies they like to sort of data mine all of their information out of people who are playing with an internet connection.
Yeah.
And they can actually just improve the game through watching, subversively, sort of like watching how you play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
They've also got like the way. I mean, if you don't want to just play with all your friends online, they've got their own RaceNet, which is a system a bit like EA have Autolog.
Yeah.
An Autolog system. They've got RaceNet where you can basically all of your times are going to be pushed out to RaceNet to your account that will be on there. You can do all comparisons and stuff against like friends, against against strangers. Like, so you can create like different opponents. They'll have like a social rival that you can choose. They've got like a global rival, which they will say, okay, well, you're kind of this good and your racing style's kind of like this. Like, you're quite tidy, you're not much of a bully. We're going to put you head to head this week, 9 challenges, see how you do.
Okay.
And that will just keep going and keep pushing on week through week. And that's kind of how they want to develop your multiplayer career.
Can you do
That's
like
pretty cool.
offline multiplayer against bots, basically?
Yeah.
You do all that kind
And
of
whenever you
jazz.
don't have enough players to fill out a full 12, you can go and just fill up the empty spaces with bots as you like.
Take a close look at this car.
Yeah.
What car is this? Do you know?
That looks like an Aston Martin, and if I make sure I've got the actual car right, might be a Zagato, I think.
Very pretty. Yeah, it's definitely an Aston Martin. You can say.
I'm going to say that's a Zagato V12 GT3.
Some cheeky Spotify sponsorship there.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's
it's a pretty
sweet.
gorgeous car. This is the Paris City track.
Yeah, I got that with the massive
obviously with the
Eiffel
massive
Tower.
they'll obviously have like timed day
Yeah.
options as well. So I mean, obviously this is daytime, slightly overcast, but there'll be different options for this.
Mhm.
I saw this at night time as well, and it looks pretty sick. Like all fireworks coming off the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Also, once you're out of the actual game, like when we're not racing live, you can take your like highlight clips and just publish them straight out to YouTube, which is pretty cool. And that all gets kind of tied into RaceNet as well. So the idea being that like you can go on the browser-based version of RaceNet, and the community is going to be like, those are wicked clips, and they'll obviously get pushed out, and so you're going to get like all the highlights of the best players or like the biggest crashes and that kind of stuff. I think it's pretty neat.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining us. If you want to see these clips again without us talking over them, these clips are also going to be on the site. That's obviously gamespot.com. So for any other news about Grid 2 and anything else game related, head on over to gamespot.com.